It's election year, and regardless of the political fence you reside on, the way campaigns are run these days have become downright farcical. Many comedies have predicted that we'd head down this path, especially as media and the internet become a more permanent part of daily life. So instead of sinking into a deep depression and going insane from all the stupidity, we might as well laugh about it. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 poignant political comedies. Number 1. Wag the Dog. The phrase "the tail wagging the dog" is an idiom that essentially means attention being diverted from something big to something small. In other words, a distraction. And I couldn't think of a better title for this film than that. Oddly enough, a lot in this film coincided with real-life events at the time, making this almost a conspiracy theorist's wet dream. Throughout the film, we follow Conrad as he tries to cover up a scandal in the White House. The president has been making moves on an underage girl and got caught with his hands in the cookie jar, so to speak. He brings in Stanley, a Hollywood director, to create a fake war in Albania, making it seem like the president is keeping everybody safe during these difficult times, and raise his polling numbers. However, the CIA doesn't agree with these tactics, which causes the director to try and undermine the clandestine organization by staging fake battles and an entire news cycle about a missing POW. With this boost in American patriotism, the president goes on to win his re-election. But things get a little sketchy real quick following that. In order to keep everything under wraps, all leaks must be plugged. With brilliant performances by actors such as Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, and Willie Nelson, you cannot miss out on this adventure over on Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango, or Prime. Number 2. Primary Colors. Mike Nichols directed this comedy from a screenplay by Elaine May, which was adapted from the novel Primary Colors, a novel of politics by Joe Klein. To be fair, this film is about the Clinton campaign, but to have John Travolta play Governor Jack Stanton is downright perfect and poetic. Pairing Travolta with Emma Thompson, Adrian Lester, Billy Bob Thornton, and Kathy Bates boosts this cast to a star-studded ensemble. The film follows Henry Burton as he joins the presidential campaign for Stanton, a real Southern charmer and all-around genuine good guy, albeit with a few odd quirks here and there. Stanton goes on to tell people he's just going to be honest with them. But when allegations arise, it's up to his team to cover them up or get rid of them. Some of these scandals will sound all too familiar if you're familiar with the Clintons, such as his womanizing tendencies and having numerous affairs. One apparently with his babysitter who claims to be pregnant. With some of the best writing and comedic timing, it's hard to keep a straight face throughout this downright hilarious parody of American politics. Make sure to check it out over on Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. You won't regret it. Number 3. Idiocracy. 2006 brought us this comedy science fiction film directed by Mike Judge. We follow Joe, played by Luke Wilson, as he undergoes an experiment from the U.S. Army. Rita, played by Maya Rudolph, is a prostitute who is also a part of this experiment. Both are put in a hibernation chamber, and after they're asleep, a scandal breaks out, causing the base and the experiment to shut down. During this time that they're asleep, consumerism flies through the roof, and society gets dumbed down. After 500 years, Joe wakes up realizing just how much society deteriorated while he slept. He's eventually arrested for not paying his hospital bill or for his dinner. After his trial, he's sent to prison, where he outsmarts the guards into letting him go. Rita is also awake and ends up meeting up with Joe, where they're invited to meet the current president, played effortlessly by Terry Crews, who puts Joe in charge of getting the crops growing again and just normal things back on track. I love how this all plays out, and the cinematography is just brilliant. Make sure to enjoy this film out over on Hulu, Disney+, Google Play, Apple TV, Prime, or Fandango. Number 4, My Fellow Americans. In 1996, Peter Segal directed this political comedy featuring Jack Lemmon, James Garner, Dan Aykroyd, and John Hurd, and I could not ask for a better laugh. We follow Russell Kramer and Matt Douglas through their rivalry to become known as the best president. After some time, they're both retired, living their lives until the Democratic Party learns about several bribes from the defense contractor to the current president when he was just the vice president. The Democratic Party then tries to get Matt to investigate, which he does while the current president tries to get Russell on a scandal. This ultimately brings the two together so they can get to the bottom of everything. The twist managed to completely take me by surprise, as it involves the vice president secretly being behind all the scandals going on, framing the current president so he could take his place. However, it's still a side-splitting hilarious romp, carried by the uproariously funny veteran comedians Jack Lemmon and James Garner. You cannot miss this, so head over to Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango, or Prime to check it out. Number 5, Irresistible. From writer and director Jon Stewart, this film is about a swing for the fences campaign in the time of societal downturn in America, featuring Steve Carell, Chris Cooper, Mackenzie Davis, Topher Grace, and Rose Byrne. We follow Gary, a neurotic yet mild-mannered campaign manager for the Democratic Party, as he tries to find a new mayor in the fictional town of Deer Lincoln, Wisconsin. There he comes across a speech made by retired Colonel Jack Hastings about immigration, supporting their right to seek asylum and refuge in the United States, and attain citizenship, no matter how they entered the country, hearkening to what's written on the base of the Statue of Liberty. Gary's goal is to incentivize the American people to participate more in the voting process, and believes he can use Jack to win. However, Jack has little to no interest in running for office. He eventually reluctantly agrees, with some pressure from his daughter, and so during the entire campaign, Gary is forced to become accustomed to life in small town, a major cultural backstep from his normally hectic big city life. One of my favorite scenes is when Gary is yelling at people to get the cows to be quiet and face forward for a promotional commercial. This film is just comedy gold, with great chemistry between the cast and some genuinely smart and poignant writing. Make sure to take a break from the real election and enjoy these laughs over on Prime, Freevee, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope that you're enjoying all of our content. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. If you want to support us even further, there are numerous ways. First, check out fatninja.shop, our very own merch store where we sell t-shirts, hoodies, hats, shoes, and more, featuring our logo and other designs. You can also join our Patreon, linked in the video description. Last but not least, we have officially launched the YouTube membership program. At only $4.99 a month, you'll get access to our monthly newsletter featuring reviews, previews, and exclusive behind-the-scenes information about our upcoming projects and videos. You also get a nifty little badge and special emojis that you can use during our upcoming live stream chats. And if you're a member of our Discord channel, you'll get access to a special role which gives you even better access to the Fat Ninja staff and the chance to enter a monthly prize drawing as well as a shout out at the end of our videos. The prize drawings will only begin once we have reached our goal of 50 members. Finally, you'll also be gifted a special coupon code good for 20% off any item from our store. We appreciate each and every one of you and are incredibly thankful for your support. Each new subscriber and member helps us achieve our goals and keeps us motivated to create new content each week. Thanks again. Take care.
Number 6. The Death of Stalin. Black comedies are some of my favorites, and 2017's The Death of Stalin, directed by Armando Iannucci, does not disappoint. It starts off on March 1st, 1953, with Stalin calling a radio director to get a recording of a live recital that just aired. However, it wasn't actually recorded. So, with some bribery and changes to the musicians, they quickly put together a symphony to replay the concert and get it recorded, or face imprisonment and possibly death. One of the musicians was able to stuff a note into the sleeve of the album, and when Stalin finds it, he laughs himself to death. Okay, so in reality, he died of a cerebral hemorrhage, but it appears like he's laughed himself to death. Now, chaos ensues as a tyrannical dictator no longer reigns, and a mad scramble for power begins. People are let out of prison, death warrants are signed, and trying to find a new leader is a bit problematic. This film is a fictional parody of historical events, but does contain some elements of truth, such as how people must have felt during this time period, and when and how Stalin died. But Armando wanted to bring some lightheartedness to the Stalin era. So, if you're looking for a hilarious ending to one of the worst rulers in history, make sure to check this out on Pluto, Plex, AMC Plus, Philo, Sling, Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 7. Vice. Former U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney is often considered as the most powerful VP ever, and with his background, it's easy to see why. In 2018, Adam McKay wrote, directed, and produced his biographical political satire Black Comedy, featuring Christian Bale, Amy Adams, Steve Carell, and Tyler Perry. We follow Cheney throughout his adult life, from lineman to VP, and everything in between. Cheney ends up getting an intern position at the White House during the Nixon era, and learns a lot from the former disgraced president, which gets him the position of chief of staff during Ford's presidency. After that, he runs for Congress, and then becomes the CEO of a private military company, which leads him to a meeting George W. Bush, and the two decide to run for presidency and vice presidency. The film depicts in great detail all the things Cheney was responsible for and how his ratings plummeted by the end of Bush's final term. Part of the comedy here is based on real-life events and how people reacted to them. All in all, it's a phenomenal film that's pretty historically accurate, but it's so much fun traveling this winding road. So make sure to travel on over to Pluto, Plex, Peacock, Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango to check this out. Number 8. The Oath. Show of hands. Who would sign a loyalty oath to the president? Not the government, just to the president. I couldn't. But that's the premise of this 2018 Black satirical comedy. We follow Chris and Kai as they're about to have Thanksgiving dinner with extended family. Chris's mom promises to not bring up politics, which is all good, except Chris is seriously considering not signing this oath. It's not a mandatory thing, but it comes with threats due to non-compliance. Chris's whole family has already signed, And when agents come to his house, Chris is downright hostile towards them. The film ends with the agents completely losing their authority due to the next president taking this oath away, deeming it unnecessary. In the final scene, Chris and Kai finally sit down to enjoy a slice of fresh pie. Honestly, this is hysterical considering how divided our nation is at the moment with the current election and the extreme patriotism on display. I'm not going to give too much attention to that aspect, but for a good laugh, make sure to head on over to Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango, or Prime to check this out. Number 9, Bulworth. In 1998, Warren Beatty co-wrote, co-produced, directed, and starred in this dark comedy addressing difficult topics around race and poverty, as well as problems with healthcare and the corporate influence on politics. Still incredibly relevant today, it's a fresh look into the different cultures in our vast country. We follow Bulworth, who's a California senator, and he is just unhappy with his life. He ends up hiring an assassin to take him out so his daughter can collect the $10 million life insurance policy. One night he's out clubbing and somehow, through a drunken stupor, revitalizes his campaign. He then meets Nina, played by a young Halle Berry, and they become kind of an item even though he's married. During all of his campaigning, the assassin is still on the prowl, and he grows increasingly paranoid. Turns out though, he found some happiness, and it came in a very interesting package. Honestly, seeing a straight, white, middle-aged man trying to fit in with the black community is cliche, but still hilarious. This man is the dictionary definition of white privilege, and he breaks doors down to bring recognition to the struggles and hardships in the black community. This film also has a great twist that I cannot spoil. It's just too good. So make sure to take some time and check this out on Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango, or Prime. I promise, it's a lot of laughs. Number 10, W. Based on former President George W. Bush's life, I was curious to see how this could be funny, and I'm glad I let curiosity win. When Bush is hazed at Yale University's fraternity, he acknowledges his family's political legacy, but almost writes it off, claiming he doesn't want anything to do with that. He just wants to be his own person, which leads him down a dark path fueled by alcohol and parental disappointment. After all his partying is done, he realizes he needs to do something more with his life. So he becomes the front office executive for the Texas Rangers. A short while thereafter, he ends up running for governor, which he wins, and then goes on to become the President of the United States. When 9/11 happened, Bush's entire world turns upside down, and all his notions of an easy ride in the country's highest office come crashing down like a house of cards. With a phenomenal cast including Josh Brolin, Elizabeth Banks, James Cromwell, and Richard Dreyfuss, it's bound to be a hilarious good time, with some historical tidbits we often forget. So make sure to grab some popcorn and check this out over on Tubi, Peacock, Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango, or Prime. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. We're also now on Blue Sky. You can find us at studiosfat.bsky.social, which will also link below. If you're really enjoying our content and want to help support us, click that join button for exclusive content, rewards, and perks. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again. See you in the next one.